Hey folks, this is Rhykker, and the PTR patch notes for Diablo 3 2.6.5 have been revealed. This news struck just today, so I'm trying to record a very quick video, and we're going to go over all these changes together. Right off the bat, I can tell you there's some stuff in here that I am excited about and did not see coming ever, and some stuff that I'm less excited about. So zooming in here to make it easier for you to follow along. For Season 17, we're going to have, once again, a 1-week PTR, so a short PTR testing phase. This does help prevent PTR preseason burnout, but it almost feels like that's not enough time to test. Alright, so the PTR is starting Friday, April 5th, 1 week. We'll have a buff to legendary drop rate and double blood shards. That just helps with the testing. And if we go down to the patch notes here, right away we see Torments 14, 15, and 16 have been added to the game. I know some people are happy about this. I'm personally not. I was fine with Torment 13 being the max. I know that it became too easy to do Torment 13, but this is the way I look at it. If there is a finite difficulty cap, then that allows more builds to be viable at that top level. By adding 3 more Torments, that's going to reduce the number of builds that are going to be viable for Torment 16. Next change, portals left behind by treasure goblins may occasionally lead somewhere utterly ridiculous. That sounds like a cow level to me. That's kind of cool. I would just imagine that this is going to be the standard cow level, that now this is just an alternate way to get there other than cubing the bovine bardiche. Now, next change I am very happy about. Using an ancient or primal puzzle ring in Kanai's cube will produce a new result. We've been asking for a while that if we cube a better puzzle ring, will we get a better vault? Sounds like this is going to be the case. I don't know the details here, but I'm imagining it being some form of ancient vault that's going to have increased drop chances. Alright, we see some other minor things here that are unexpected but appreciated. And then moving on to quality of life. On PC, we're all getting 5 additional stash tabs. Nothing to unlock, we're just gonna get it automatically. I'm expecting the reason that they're doing this now is because there are fewer players than there were 5 years ago, so 5 years ago, giving 5 extra stash tabs to everyone would mean a lot more space on their databases. So now, with fewer players, or I mean maybe they just expanded the databases. I doubt that will be the case, but I think giving that extra stash space to everyone isn't as costly now that the player numbers are down. But very happy about the stash space. I've been asking for more stash space for a long time. And then the feature though, that completely blew my mind, search functionality has been added to stash. So obviously Path of Exile has this. I never thought that this would come to Diablo 3. Diablo 4 probably, but I never believed that they would manage to implement this into Diablo 3. Very happy with this. They're making bounties a little easier by having the indicator pop up basically as soon as you go into the area rather than waiting a while for you to not find it. And now Herodric caches from bounties drop Death's Breath, so this gives us more incentive to do bounties. Does this really solve the bounty issue? So for the most part, people don't enjoy doing bounties. Is making bounties easier and more rewarding gonna change that? I don't know. I'm not unhappy about this. This still is a good change. Alright, on to the season theme now for Season 17. Season 16 was the season of Grandeur. Everyone got a free Ring of Royal Grandeur buff. Season 17, everyone gets a free Legacy of Nightmares buff. Some of you are happy about that. I'm a little underwhelmed, if I have to be honest. I remember weeks, months ago, people bringing up as a possibility that the next season would be free Legacy of Nightmares for everyone. It's not bad, I was hoping for something a little bit more creative, but it's still better than double bounty bags and double goblins. Now the ramifications here will be that Legacy of Nightmares builds will now be more powerful because now you can work in 2 additional rings. Cannot be Focus and Restraint because you cannot equip any set buff, but right away I believe this will have the biggest impact on Necromancer because Necromancer has some of the most powerful ring options, and with Legacy of Nightmare already being the dark horse that effectively won Season 16, further buffing Legacy of Nightmares is going to take us into an interesting, I guess, meta for Season 17. I'm imagining that it's going to be only Legacy of Nightmares builds at this point. Other changes, we're getting a new potion. That was completely unexpected. It's literally new content. It's not a lot of new content, but it's something new, and I was never going to expect something new to be added to the game. Bottomless Potion of the Unfettered. Become immune to crowd control for 5 to 7 seconds. So 7 seconds of CC immunity on a 30-second cooldown is, what, about 20-25% uptime on crowd control immunity? I think the more significant impact here is actually that it should break CC. If you happen to be CC'd and you don't have an option to get out of that, the potion should get you out of that. And then we have balance changes to legendary items. Wasn't expecting that either. Normally the balance changes have mostly been around the sets. Now we're getting some changes to the legendaries themselves. So buff to Blessed Shield, that's the Captain America build. I'm foreseeing a Crusader Legacy of Nightmares Captain America build will rise, probably not to become a top build, but it'll definitely be up there, maybe A tier or something. This is a very, very broad guess. I see they're trying to make Death Nova into a thing for the Necromancer by buffing the Blood-Tide Blade. There already is a Nova-based build that isn't very viable, but it's fun, so this might take it closer towards viability. I doubt that this build is going to be topping anything, but it should at least bring Nova Necros into viability. Then we have a buff to Chantoto's Will. This will make Archons, pure Archons, not those tricky reverse Archon builds, but a purist Archon build will be brought into greater relevance. The thing is, though, this is a set item in a season of Legacy of Nightmares, so I think despite this buff, we're probably not going to see Archons really on the leaderboards or anywhere significantly high up there when it comes to pushing greater rifts. Then we have a buff to the Dagger of Darts. Your poison darts and your fetish's poison darts now pierce and deal an additional 400 to 500% damage. So I remember when Dagger of Darts was a really strong build for Witch Doctor. This was circa 2015. It was a really fun build. I liked it. I don't know that this buff is going to be quite enough to get it back into relevance. To clarify, the item previously did not have the damage buff. It already allowed your darts to pierce, but the big issue really was that it didn't do area damage, really. So by doing this, you're basically improving its single target damage, but is it going to get on par with an Impaled Demon Hunter? I doubt it. I'm not sure. I'll have to dig into the numbers more. But again, if we double our damage, we're going up by about 5 greater rifts. So we're going to see maybe a 10 greater rift rise. I don't know that that'll be enough to make a DoD Witch Doctor relevant again. Then we have the Iron Rose. This is for the Necromancer. This is going back into that Nova build. Basically, it's a guaranteed chance to get a free Blood Nova. It's going to help with that Nova build, for sure. Then we have the buff to the Jekking board. Again, Blessed Shield, Captain America. I definitely feel that Captain America probably, probably, will be brought back to relevance. And then great change to the Sages, Sages set for Death's Breath farming. Now you're doubling the amount of Death's Breaths that drop. This is a crazy change, especially with the higher Torments presumably dropping more Death's Breath. Doubling it rather than just increasing it by 1 is going to be a huge buff to the speed builds that manage to work in the Sages set. Unfortunately, I'm suspecting that what we're going to see is sort of what we saw in the past, that the optimum way to farm Death's Breath was to not do it at the highest torment level. Nowadays it is, because it's more accessible to farm T13. But in the past it was like you would do it on T11, because working in the Sages set, often you were taking a power hit that made you chug along pretty slowly in T13. We're going to get that same issue now arise with Torment 16. So I do wonder what the right balance point will be, what the fulcrum will be for the optimum Death's Breaths farming Torment level. We got a bunch of bug fixes, and that's basically it. So overall, what I expected from Season 17 was fewer balance changes than Season 16, but a bigger seasonal theme. What I got was an equal-sized season theme, so I'm a little underwhelmed by that. Fewer balance changes, yes, but different ones. I expected sets to be rebalanced again, so I'm pleasantly surprised that they've rebalanced some items. By doing this, they were targeting very specific builds rather than when you buff a set, you're targeting a whole slew of builds. But I'm most impressed with these quality of life changes. Again, searching your stash, I would have never thought that would have come to Diablo 3. 5 extra stash tabs for free. Very welcome change. But I encourage you folks to sound off with your thoughts in the comments. Are you excited, interested in Season 17, or is this too little too late? Let's hear your thoughts. As we roll into the PTR, I will have videos coming up on builds, on changes. I'm going to keep you folks up to speed on all that, so do be sure to stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Special thanks to my Twitch, YouTube, and Patreon supporters for making these videos possible. If you like what you see on this channel and want to support the creation of more content, you can consider supporting me on Patreon or YouTube and unlocking behind-the-scenes content. If you enjoyed this video, please share it. Check out these other videos and subscribe to join Rhykker's Raiders for more Diablo content.